Hello, good morning guys. I want us to solve this quadratic equation using a method of completing squares. So looking at this is quadratic. We are going to solve it. There are different methods that can be used to solve this equation, and one of them is method of completing squares. So let's start with the first one. When you are done, we will go with the second one. Okay, so taking the first question, which is x squared minus x minus 12 equal to 0. So in order to solve this using the method of completing squares, we have to make sure that the coefficient of the x squared, which is this one, technically, so there's 1 here. We should always make sure that it is 1. So this is very simple for us to go by because there's no any number attached to this apart from the 1. So technically, the coefficient is 1. So we are going to consider that one first before we think about the second step. So this is how I always solve my quadratic equation when I want to use the method of completing squares. The first step is to make sure that the coefficient of x squared is 1. Now it is 1. The second step is to make sure that the constant term, which is negative 12, I have to move the negative 12 to the right side of the equation. So I'm going to have x squared minus x then equal to positive 12. So this is the same as adding plus 12 and then plus 12. So it becomes negative 12 plus 12, which will be 0. And then 0 plus 12, which will be 12. So it's like you can still say you want to add negative 12 to both sides of the equation. Now that I have this one, we are going to do something. We are going to consider the coefficient of the x here, which is negative 1. We are going to multiply half, that is 1 over 2, by the coefficient here, which is negative 1. Remember, the coefficient or the number attached to this x is negative 1. So we are going to multiply half by that number. So we are going to have this. Now that we are multiplying negative 1 by the half, whatever we get, we are going to also square the answer. So we are going to have 1 over 2 times negative 1 all squared. We can simplify this answer, but we don't have to simplify with the square. So if you want to simplify those inside the bracket, we are going to have 1 over 2 times negative 1, which is going to give us negative 1 over 2, all squared. So we are going to keep this, we are going to keep it like this. We don't have to simplify it by using the square to simplify those in the bracket. We don't have to do that one at this stage. So we are going to use this result. We are going to add this result to both sides of the equation, the left side and then the right side. So we are going to have x squared minus x plus, then I'll have negative 1 over 2 all squared. Then equal to the same 1 over 2 plus negative 1 over 2 all squared. So let me clean this side so that you will see this one clear. And I don't want it to confuse you, so I'm deleting or cleaning this one. But if you want to know, it was negative. It was 1 over 2 times negative 1 all squared. That was it. Okay. Now we are going to continue. There is something called perfect square. So what we have here, the left side, is a perfect square. Let me give you an example. If you have x plus 2 all squared, this one is a perfect square. If you have 2x minus 1 all squared, it's a perfect square. If you have a minus b all squared, it's a perfect square. Which means that if you want to expand them, you are going to have a minus b, or let's say you are going to have a minus b, and then another a minus b. So now that we have this one, this is going to give us a perfect square. So we are going to have x, then, so let me just give you the clue here. Those that have the square, which is this one, and then this one, we are going to write them together and give them a square. So you will take the x here, open bracket with the x, and then you write this number. So the clue here is that the sign that you are going to write, put it here after the x. Is it going to be this plus or is it going to be this minus? It is always the sign of the number inside this bracket, not this one. So it's going to be negative, not a plus. So you have negative 1 over 2. You close the bracket and then all square. So if you simplify this whole expression here, you are going to get this. Now we can proceed to our right side, which is 12, and then plus. Now we can simplify the right side. So we are going to use the square to simplify the one we have in the bracket. So we have 1 squared, that is negative 1 squared, is still positive 1. And 2 squared is going to give us 4. We don't need to open this bracket, because if we open this bracket, we are going to go back to this side. So we are going to have x minus 1 over 2 all squared equal to, we are going to simplify this. So we have 4 as an LCM, because this 12 is like over 1. So 1 will divide 12, 1 will go into 4 times. 4 times 12 will give us 48 plus 4 divided by 4 will give us 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So we know what we are going to get right now. So let me delete this one. So we are going to continue as x minus 1 over 2 all squared equal to 48 plus 1 is going to give us 49 over 4. We are going to find x. So we have to take square root on both sides. For example, if you have x squared equal to 4, and you are solving the equation like this, at the end, to get rid of the x, you have to take square root on both sides. And remember, if you take square root of both sides, you are going to have 2 answers, which is going to be plus or minus. So for example, this one will give you square root of x squared equal to plus or minus root of 4. That is how we are going to do to this side. So we are going to have x minus 1 over 2 all squared with the root of it. Then the same thing, plus or minus root of 49 over 4. We are going to do that because the square will cancel the square root. So we are going to have x minus 1 over 4. Sorry, is 1 over 2. X over 1 over x minus 1 over 2 equal to plus or minus square root of 49 over 4. So this one is the same as square root of 49 over square root of 4. That's the same thing. So square root of 49 is 7, and square root of 4 is 2. We are solving for x. So we have x equal to, we are sending negative 1 over 2 to the right side of the equation. So it will be positive 1 over 2, then plus or minus 7 over 2. we are going to continue. So we are going to have, now that we are solving for x, we are going to say let x equal to 1 over 2. Then we take plus 7 over 2. You can start with minus. You can start with plus. Any one that you take is okay. So you are going to have, since the LCM denominators are the same, we are going to add the numerator. So 1 plus 7 will give you 8 over 2. And this will give you 4. And then we are going to continue. Let x equal to 1 over 2 minus 7 over 2. And this is going to give you, since the LCM are the same, you are going to have 1 minus 7, which is negative 6 over 2, and going to give you negative 3. Okay, so we have this two. Now we conclude that x is such that x is equal to negative 3 or 4. Okay, so this is how we solve quadratic equation using method of completing squares. To recap this one, we started with the equation here, making sure that the coefficient of x squared is positive 1. It's always positive 1. And it was true. This coefficient is positive 1. Now that step is good. The next step is to make sure that the constant term is moved to the right side of the equation. Then I did that. And then we had our second step to this. Then the third step, which is the tricky aspect, is we consider the coefficient of the x term here, which was negative 1. We multiply half, that's 1 over 2 by that, and then we square the answer. We have this one. And we use this result, which this one gives us negative 1 over 2 all squared. So we use this result, we add it to both sides of the equation, then we continue to simplify. Here, the moment you do that, the left side becomes a perfect square, which means you take the one with the square and the one with the square, you put them in a bracket and give them a square. If you open this one, you get back this. If you simplify this and you simplify this, you get 0. And then you proceed by solving the equation. So this is not part of it, I just added it. Okay, so this is how the equation is solved. If you have any question, you can put it down in the comment section. Now let's move on to the second question here. I'm going to put this up. Okay, now let's move on to the second question, which is B part of the question. 6x squared plus 7x plus 2 equals to 0. Now, like I said, solving this equation using the method of completing square is very easy and very simple. It just few steps, especially first, second, third step. If you're able to cross that step, you're going to get it right. So the first thing is we have to make sure that the coefficient of x squared here is always positive 1. This time it is not positive 1. It is positive 6. To make it positive 1, we are going to divide all of them by the 6. After that, the coefficient of x squared will be 1. Then we remove the constant term, whatever we get after the division, you will move that one to cross the equal sign. That is how we are going to do it. Or, you can first move the constant term to cross the equal sign. After that, we will divide all by the coefficient of x squared, which is 6. And it will still be the same. So whatever you want to do it is always good. But I'm going to divide by the coefficient of x squared first. So let's start with that. Every 10, we have 1. So the whole thing here is 110. This is 110. This is 110. This is 110, right? So we are going to divide all these terms by 6. And even this 0 is also another term. We will divide this 0 by 6. By 0 over 6 is the same as 0. So you can decide to leave it. But for you to understand, every 10 is going to be divided by 6. So here we over 6, over 6, over 6, over 6. This one will give you x squared plus 7 over 6, or x, plus 2 over 6 will give you 1 over 3, equal to 0 over 6 is 0. Now, there's the first step. I'm going to move our positive 1 over 3 to the right side of the equation. In other words, I'm going to subtract positive 1 over 3 from both sides. So the same as moving it or subtracting it from both sides. So I'm going to have x squared plus 7 over 6 x equal to negative 1 over 3. Please make sure that you focus on your negative sign. If you move to the right side and you don't consider negating it, it is going to affect your answer at the end. So now we are here. Let's go and do our magic. So the magic is that we are going to consider the coefficient of x here, which is 7 over 2. 7 over 6. We are going to multiply 1 over 2 by 7 over 6. So it's going to be times 1 over 2. And then we square the answer. All squared. Remember, it's always 1 over 2 multiplied by whatever you have here. After this coefficient has been made to become positive 1. So make sure you consider that. Here, 7 times 1 is 7, 6 times 2 is 12. We cannot cancel any of them, so we are going to have 7 over 12 and then all squared. So, the 7 over 12 all squared is what we are going to use right now. We are going to add the whole term here, this result, to both sides, the left side and the right side. So the left side is going to give us x squared plus 7 over 6x, and then plus this one, which is 7 over 12 all squared equal to negative 1 over 2 over 3. Then plus the same thing, 7 over 12 all squared. Okay, now let's continue. Like we did earlier on, the left side here has now become a perfect square. So we are going to take the term here, x here, and then 7 over 12 here, and then put them in one bracket. So I'm going to delete this one. So taking x, I have open bracket x. Now, this time, the sign here is positive. So if I'm going to use plus, it's not this plus that I'm going to use, it's the sign of this one, that's what I'm going to use. And since it's positive, I'm going to put plus here. If it is negative, here will be negative. So you have 7 over 12 all squared equal to. So we are going to have negative 1 over 3 plus, then I'm going to simplify this one. So 7 squared is going to give us 49 over 144. That is 12 squared. We are going to have x plus 7 over 12 all squared equal to, let's simplify this one. LCM will be 144. Now let's divide 3 by 144. So 14 over 4, and then we are going to have us 6. So 3 goes into different with 2, and then we drop the 4 down, 24. So here is 8, not 6. So 48. So 3 goes into 144, 48 times. So 48 times negative 1 will give you negative 48 plus 144 will go into 144 one time, and 49 will give you 49. So we are going to have x plus 7 over 12 all square equal to negative 8 plus 49 will give 1 over 144. Like we did earlier on, we want to solve for x, and because of this square, we take square root of both sides. So we are going to have x plus 7 over 12 all square equal to plus or minus root of 1 over 144. So we have x plus 7 over 12 equal to plus or minus square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 144 is 12. So we have x equal to, we are going to take positive 7 over 12 to the right side of the equation, which is going to give us negative 7 over 12 plus or minus 1 over 12. Now let x equal to negative 7 over 12. Then we are going to take plus 1 over 12. The LCMs are the same, so we can simplify the top one or add it or subtract whatever. But because it's by, we are going to add. So we're going to give a negative 7 plus 1. Negative 6 over 12. Negative 6 over 12 is negative 1 over 2. The same thing, let x equal to negative 7 over 12 minus 1 over 12 equal to negative 8. LCMs are the same. We simplify the top one over 12. And this is going to give us, so 2 or 4 will cancel negative 8 as negative 2 over 3. To cancel 2 over 9. So therefore, our x is set that x is equal to negative 2 over 3 or negative 1 over 2. Guys, this is how we solve quadratic equation using method of completing squares. If you have any question, put it in the comment section. And then before I forget, my name is Stephen. Back in high school, people used to know me as Exhibit. Yeah, so if you know me, if you remember, you can just drop your comment in the comment section. Let me know if you have any question. If you have any problem that you want us to solve together, you can put it down in this comment section, or you can reach out to me. Thank you. And if you see anything that you think I should